on in,
Hey,
ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing this evening? Get rid of that background
welcome.
music, Doc. Doc, what I tell you about that background music?
That's you and that producer that you was
I
supposed to be
know, man.
firing last 5 months ago.
2 or 3 months ago. How you doing tonight, Doc?
I'm doing wonderful, man. I got the gala coming, the cherry motorcycle ride in Nashville this week. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, indeed, man, indeed. Come on in, Bolo. How you doing tonight? Folks, we're going to try to keep this one here moving right along because we got a lot of good information. We got a lot of good legacy. We're going to carry a lot of ground we're going to try to cover tonight. And we're going to try to do it without going into the 2-hour zone, Doc.
Okay. Okay.
All right, come on in, folks. Come on in, everybody. That's right, Jay, Everyday Rider. Let's get it. Let's get it. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate that, man. Come on in, Joe Carter. Good evening. Thank you very much. Joe and Bev, thank you for joining us tonight, man. Love it, love it, love it. Come on in, MacGyver. You's always with me, man. Love it. Hustle, man. How you doing? Hustle, man. That package is going to be in the mail tomorrow. Again, congratulations for winning. As a matter of fact, go ahead and type hashtag Gator in for the giveaway tonight. Free giveaway. We're going to do another one. Free giveaway tonight, hashtag Gator, hashtag Gator. So listen, Doc, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce our guest tonight because you two have a little bit in common. So in pre-production, man, you two was chopping it up. So if you would, Doc, go ahead and introduce our guest tonight.
Absolutely. I would love to introduce Gator. You know, that name right there says a lot. You know, you think about a gator, you think about the jaws and the teeth and the snap you know, everything. I think her writing and her journey and her legacy that she has built and will leave. Gator goes well with her. And so, yeah, she's a Buffalo Soldier. I was a Buffalo Soldier. And we in doing pre-production, I was always talking about, I mean, not always, but I was telling her how I always, every time I see a Buffalo Soldier, even though I'm not in that organization and affiliated with it anymore, I always scream out, Buffalo, you know, and so they be looking at me like I'm crazy. And so but that's the thing, you know, you say Buffalo and then they say soldiers. So I feel like if you're in a affiliation, if you're in an organization and you put in, you're going to get out what you put in. And I love that organization, even though I'm not still with that organization. So without further ado, I would love to introduce Buffalo Soldier Gator.
All right, come on in here, Gator. How you doing tonight, Gator?
I'm repping KSolo. I'm repping KSolo. Everybody knows I'm a soldier.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Gator. Thank you. And Doc, you did an outstanding job, man. Like I say, you two go way back, you know, with the club affiliation thing, being, both females in the military and just on and on and on, more stuff. Gator, I love the intro she did for you, man. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I am super excited for this show tonight. You started off on the West Coast. You're a pioneer. You're a trailblazer. You ridden 49 states. You've been up to Alaska. Not. I ain't knocking nobody ride. I'm not knocking, but I know where you been. So, I'm super excited. So if you would, because I want to try to use as much time as we can to just highlight your legacy. If you would, please introduce us and tell us who is Gator.
So I'm Gator, and that came from actually my real name, which is Ila. And a classmate of mine at West Point started calling me Ila Gator. And so when I tell people my name was Ila Gator, they would always mess it up and say alligator. And I'm like, no, it's not alligator, it's Ila Gator. So they messed it up so many times. I said, you know what? It's just Gator. And so it's just stuck with me. My classmate, Katrina Hall, who was a flight surgeon, one of the very first Black flight surgeons in the Army. She's the one who gave me the name, and I wear it with pride.
Nice.
And so that kind of symbolizes my personality a little, I think. And my name Ila came from my mother's name, which is Iola. Mm-hmm. And my mother is actually a real pioneer. My mother is the mother of was the mother of 7 kids. My father was in the Air Force. My mother drug everybody along with him to all the assignments that were accompanied. My mother started kindergarten for Air Force children in Europe. They did not have it when she went over there, and she had my bad brothers, and she worked with Adam Clayton Powell to start kindergarten for the Air Force in Europe, and it did not exist. Then when we settled in San Jose, California, she joined the PTA, and the next thing you know, it was the school board, and she was the vice mayor of San Jose, California. First African-American woman, first African-American council member at all, and then the first mayor, vice mayor as well.
Okay. That is like I say, man, you come from a long lineage of powerful, strong women and a family heritage, and first here and first there. So I once again, I got to give Mom a round of applause for what she did. So as a round of applause for Mom. Indeed. And your father is 90.
My father is 96 years old.
Oh.
And my mother and father actually started the African American Military History Museum in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where they're from. And it was in the old USO building in Hattiesburg, where they would have the Black troops there. And they were going to tear the building down. They said, oh, no, we can't do that. So they preserved the building and turned it into a museum.
Nice. Oh, my goodness. I did not dig deep enough, Doc. And I tell you, this could have definitely been a 2-hour show. It may end up being a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
No.
She got some stories.
I know she does. Can anybody pick her out in this picture?
Let me see.
See, you ain't right.
Hey, the one right there in the middle at the top with the hair.
Which one? I know which one she is. I already know.
I'm the one with the braids sticking out the side.
With that one single braid sticking out.
And if you could zoom in, you'd see how bad my teeth were.
Oh, wow.
I had gator teeth. I had gator teeth at that point in my life. They were like this. Ooh, that ain't right.
Oh, Lord. When I seen that, I said, man, I have to braid that up. I love it. But you grew up in San Jose, Stonegate School there until the family moved, correct?
Well, no, we stayed there. I graduated high school in San Jose. So my folks stayed there in town until everybody had gone out of the house. And then they retired back down to Mississippi where they were from. Okay.
Now, Doc and I both served in the military. And so, we're glad to have you on board. You are the podcast first West Point, if I'm not mistaken, the West Point attendee and graduate. And so, I want to just talk about that. I really would love to hear about your time there, your experience there, share a little bit of that about forming your leadership traits there. And we're going to bring that over into highest impact in you being the president of a chapter. So if you would, please just tell us a little bit about your history of West Point.
So, when you take the PSAT test, they send you the little cards in the mail talking about, go to this, go to our school. So West Point kept sending me them little postcards, and I'd throw them in the garbage. And then I'd look up and it'd be back on the counter. So my mother was taking it out the garbage every time, putting it back on the counter for me to consider West Point. And I didn't want to go because I was like every other teenage girl, you don't like your mother at that point of your life, you don't want to hear anything. But when my dad said he would like to see me go to a service academy, I said, okay. So I actually went to an all-girls high school. And so when I went through the interview process to go into West Point, they thought it would be a stretch for me to go into an all-male environment, even though I was raised with my brothers, because my sisters were the older three. So I went to the prep school at Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. And at the prep school, we had a lot of African Americans at the prep school, and we started our own little gospel choir. And so then, of course, I got an appointment to West Point from the prep school, went to West Point, and having the prep school prepster background, you already know how to shine your shoes and do an about face and left, right. You've done a whole lot of push-ups. So it kind of puts you a step ahead of your classmates. And so we just kind of followed the same thing, carrying my load, keeping up in the runs, doing more push-ups and pull-ups than some of the guys. And when you can carry your own load, that's when you get more respect, I found in the military. Joined the gospel choir there. It was a good opportunity to get away from West Point when we would go sing at other churches. The director that we had would always catch the spirit, and we'd end up singing a song for a half hour. So that is me actually in that picture directing the choir, because I finally got tired of singing one day and jumped out in front of the choir and said, no, we're going to end this song right now. And so at West Point, I played softball for 3 years. So I was a core squad, what we called core squad varsity athlete. So I didn't have to do a lot of the stuff that you have to do in the fourth class system. But I made a lot of great friends, folks that I still correspond with and visit and ride to their homes to this day. So it was a great experience. Would I want to do it again? Would I want to? No. But would I? Yes.
Okay. And you come from a long family of service members, people who have made the commitment to join. And I know this right here was posted by Rosa Montgomery. And so I pulled it off because it kind of like highlighted your father in there, you, some other relatives. Is that correct?
That's correct. My dad was a retired master sergeant. My nephew's a Marine. He just got out. My brother was in the Air Force. One brother was in the Air Force. One brother was an airborne combat engineer. An uncle in the Air Force. So yes, a long line of military service.
Yes, and we want indeed, and we want to thank all of them for their services and you again. Remember, folks, we got a free giveaway tonight. Type #Gator in the comments, #Gator in the comments to be entered for the free giveaway. We'll be giving away a free promo pack, and why not, Doc? Let's give away another T-shirt. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, let's throw in one of my books.
Hey, and we're going to throw in one of Doc's books. So there you go, right there, folks, man. We're going to be giving away, because you want to know what? We appreciate you joining us here on Riding with KSolo podcast, because we love enjoying highlighting riders out there, inspirational riders out there, trail setters and trailblazers like Gator right here. And I just love that name, Gator.
Me too.
I just love that name, Gator. Okay. So Doc and I are going to volley. Doc, I'm going to turn it over to you while I cue my next question up.
Okay. Well, my next question to you, Gator, is: did you first start riding motorcycles?
When?
Mm-hmm.
Was that
when did you first start? When did you fall in love with motorcycling?
I think I fell in love as soon as I got on one when I was older. Now, my oldest brother rode a motorcycle, like a street bike. So I rode on the back of his a couple of times. My next door neighbors, they had some dirt bikes, and I rode out in the desert with them a couple of times. But then I didn't ride again until I was going through midlife crisis. And I had told myself, either I want a motorcycle or a convertible. Well, the convertible would have been like a Mercedes or something that I couldn't afford. So I said, okay, when it hit, I said, okay, I'm going to get a motorcycle. So my husband likes to say he found out that I was getting a motorcycle when he saw the receipt for the course on our shared email page, which is not true. What?
She didn't even tell him.
I did tell him. He just never believes me. So I took the course, and I bought that little white bike you see on the upper right side. It was a little Suzuki Boulevard.
That's the ultimate starter bike for everybody.
That was a starter bike. Now, I had always wanted to get a Sportster as my starter bike, but I let the instructor talk me down. And I should have listened to friends of mine who knew me and knew my personality and stuff. And I should have gone ahead and got the Sportster, because that little Suzuki, I rode it all the way from New Jersey to Virginia. But the first time I got on the interstate and some woman rode by me on a Harley, I was like, this is bullshit. Because you get on that thing going 80, it's like, so as soon as I got back from Virginia, I got on Craigslist and I found me a fat boy.
Okay.
And it was owned by a police officer who happened to be a short Italian guy. It was all chromed out, and that's the bike I'm sitting on there with that helmet on. So I got that Fat Boy, and probably with that bike is when I really fell in love with riding motorcycles. I rode that Fat Boy to Ohio, and that's when I discovered that I liked long distance riding. And so I needed to upgrade from that Fat Boy.
Okay. Nice. But that's how it is, though, man. You get that starter bike and you go out and you ride it, and then once you get used to it, it only lasts about maybe 3 months, 4 months, and then you're already prepping for that next season. So when I try to give people advice, and you being a president, you give people advice. Just what advice do you give them when they say, "Hey, look, I'm considering getting a bike for the first time, or maybe the second time"?
If they're a first time, I kind of discourage people from doing like I did. I wasted $4,000 on that bike. So if you know somebody who's got a bike, maybe that's willing to let you practice on it, by all means do that. Because honestly, I think if I had listened to my friend, I would have been fine on that Sportster. So talk to people that don't jump into a decision. I jumped in. I said, I got to have a motorcycle right now. So I went and got it. And had I listened to people, I probably would have saved myself a little bit of money. Okay. But I do encourage everyone, take the course. Do not just get out there and start riding. Take the course.
Yes, indeed. That's words of wisdom right there, folks. Definitely words of wisdom. Take a motorcycle safety course, either through a dealership or just like what Sakila does. She has her course, but find one, take it. I know back in the days, man, we would just go buy a bike without even going to get licensed or anything. Be out there in the field somewhere, or somebody parking lot trying to figure out how to ride and drop it a couple of times. And once we can get our balance and shift gears on it, 1 down, 4 up, 5 up, we're ready to roll, depending on what you were riding. So definitely. But I'm going to jump back. Because I want to stick with my questions. As a Buffalo soldier, chapter president, a United States Military Academy West Point graduate, and my question to you is this right here, leadership. And I want to talk about leadership. As a Buffalo soldier, chapter president, leadership isn't about riding. It's about culture, accountability, and legacy. What leadership principles do you carry onto the road when you're riding with others?
I'd say the biggest one is just leading by example. You're told in the military, don't put your soldiers in any situation that you wouldn't go into yourself. And it's the same on the road. Don't ask a probie to do anything you wouldn't do yourself. Don't ask your members to do anything you wouldn't do yourself. So when I'm with my chapter, they know that I'm not going to ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. One way that I bring my probies along is anytime I would go out for a long ride, they were working and stuff, so they couldn't necessarily go on the ride, but I would make them meet me out on the road somewhere. So I'd tell them, come ride out 200 miles and meet me. Almost every time, those guys would get caught in some kind of driving rainstorm, thunder, lightning, all kinds of stuff. So we'd pull in, I'd pull up, I'd be soaking wet, they'd be soaking wet. And they'd say, we're going to put our rain gear on? I said, you put your rain gear on if you want. I'm not putting no rain gear on. And then we'd hit the road, and they'd be like, dang, Prez ain't wearing no rain gear. Because I didn't like the way the rain gear sounds and all that. I'd just rather get home wet and take my clothes off. So I would do stuff like that, just to let them know that it's tough out here on the road. You're going to run into all kinds of different conditions. Sometimes you got to push through, you got to ride through. You might not be able to make the whole journey, but if you can help somebody out on a part of their journey, then you should, do that. And just with my guys, it was just whether we're riding, whether we're serving in the community, whether we're attending meetings, I try to lead by example and hope that they would, follow my example.
Hey, thank you. I'm ready for my next one. I'm gonna jump right on in and follow that, but I'm gonna back over. So we got the leadership, right? And so it takes me into family and balance, right? So you have 3 girls and a son, and I want to know. So when I was riding, I think we've been riding. We got a lot of parallels because I went to all-girl Catholic high school. Served in the Army, Buffalo Soldier. Like we got some parallels. But I want to ask you this about your family. So we've been riding for about the same amount of years. My son was 4 when I started riding. How did you balance, and how do you still balance? Because your youngest, your son is 17. So it's not like all of them grown. You got a 37-year-old, you have a 35 and a 30-year-old daughter, but then you still have a minor. And you're still riding, and you're the president. So when we talk about leadership, when we talk about family and balance, how did you do it then, and how were you still able to balance everything?
So I'm a little bit older than you. So I waited actually to start riding until my youngest daughter could cook for herself and my husband, because my husband's from North Carolina and his mama made his plate every night for dinner and put it in front of him. Solo, see, I know Solo be showing up at his mama's house complaining about his mom.
I'll be at Mom's Duke, boy. You already know I'm doing child labor, and she's gonna be cooking me something to get me to do it.
Yep. So I waited. So even when I go on my trips, when I did my Alaska trip, I was gone for 5 weeks. They hated it, but I know that I've got my daughters who are capable of, running the household. Push come to shove, I'll get on and I'll put a BJ's order and they can go pick it up. But I've let them know that, it's my time. And I took care of you all those years, and now it's my time. So you all can take care of yourselves, take care of Jaden, and take care of your daddy while I'm gone on the road. That's just the way it is.
That. And your husband, you and your husband, how long you been married?
Off and on since 1987. That's not my husband.
That's not her husband. That's not her husband. That's not her husband.
Take that down.
I know, right? That's not her husband.
Where's the producer? What?
I know.
You're trying to get me in trouble now.
I know, right?
I know those guys.
No. That's gonna come up. That's gonna fall right into place. But go ahead, though. We gotta have a good time up here, though, folks.
So yes, off and on since 1987. So this next year will be 40 years for us, and Remy's laughing and I'm laughing because when you say off and on, there was a slight period of divorce in there, but the Lord brought us back together. Let what he has joined together, let no man put asunder. And so here we are many years later. And my youngest daughter likes to say she's the love child that brought us back together.
So
That's
okay.
That's the one.
That's the one. Hey, folks, if we're not having fun on this channel, then we ain't doing something right. We're gonna have fun. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. Sir, my apologies, but that's gonna come into play down the road. But listen, your husband does not ride, but he's an avid bicycler, correct?
Not an avid bicycler. He has ridden a few times for his company on these crazy cross-country rides where they'll do legs. So he has done, I think, 2 or 3 times where he'll ride 300 miles over 3 days.
Come on now. I couldn't even get on a bicycle right now and probably ride at the beginning of my daggone entrance. And he'll ride 300 miles on a leg. No,
He's got that dumb airborne ranger mentality. And even though we are now, he just turned 60, he's a little bit younger than me. But you can't tell him, just like me, you can't tell me I can't do something. You can't tell him he can't do something. He is not a bicyclist, but when somebody said, let's do it, he was like, oh, okay. And so he trained for it and did it.
But you also, back in your days, you was running marathons out there getting it in too, though, right?
Well, I ran a relay. I ran a leg of a marathon with some classmates of mine. And then that picture you had up, that was a 10K. So I've done some 10K. I did a 10-miler in Columbia, Maryland with one of my classmates, and I was kicking her. It was right after that 10K. And she said, okay, well, come run this 10 miler. I was like, well, there's a little bit of difference between 10K and 10 miles. And she said, that's okay. And just made me do it anyway. So yeah, I've done a little bit of load bearing exercise in my day. Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Chief McCoy? Hey, thank you for joining us. Daggone it, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Pablo. I'm sorry. We go back. Oh my goodness, man. Thank everybody for joining us tonight. Alan, that's another Buffalo, man. Come on in.
Yeah, that's my man. That's my man.
Yeah.
That's it. We had him here on the show, didn't we, Doc?
Yeah, we did. That's the man right there.
Listen, that's a good brother. I called that brother one day at 5 o'clock in the morning. We were at the Southern Fall ride, and my back tire was flat. And he was camping, and I was at the hotel. I was like, yo, yo, dog, I need you. He got out of his trailer, came and filled my tire up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the Soldier Nation is about.
That's indeed, man. You guys got a strong brotherhood, sisterhood. I always enjoy highlighting the organization, the members in the organization, whenever I meet them. As a matter of fact, I had Doc Wellington on out of Seattle, Washington. I had him on. I've had Alan on. I have a couple other soldiers on, man. I bump everywhere I bump into them. It's always a great time. And you guys was down at the Proc down there. 100 plus deep?
Yeah.
Probably about 300.
Oh. Hundreds.
300. You know, I have to ask this question right here, and it's not going into club business. About how many chapters does the soldier have? And then there's also different branches of the Inc. Correct?
Well, so no, there's only one National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle Club.
Okay.
And we have over 120 chapters, and a chapter in Germany and I think Korea. I'm not sure if we still have Korea. But yeah, there's only one NABSTMC. There are a lot of offshoots. There are some that have, branched off of NABSTMC, and then there are some that were never affiliated with NABSTMC. So there are a lot of other, whether they're cavalry riders, cavalry scouts, Buffalo Soldiers, but there's only one National Association of Buffalo Soldiers and Troopers Motorcycle.
Okay. And we want to make sure we get that right, folks. Also, for the free giveaway tonight, put in the comments, #Gator. #Gator to be entered. We got about 20 people in there so far. We need to get a couple of more. And also remember, folks, like and comment, help the algorithm, help push us out so that more people can see and tune in to this great highlight of a legacy that we're doing tonight. And that's what we want to do. We want to highlight your legacy. We're gonna Doc, I'm gonna let you go ahead and drop one more in as I get ready to cue my next one up.
Okay. So I want to talk about women in riding and breaking barriers, because when I was a Buffalo Soldier, 15 years ago, 14 years ago, I didn't see a woman president. And I always thought, like, man, how cool it would be to become a president of a Buffalo Soldier chapter. And I just didn't see how that could happen. So can you talk to me? I mean, not even the audience, but can you talk to me about how did you do that?
I think it's like I said, it's kind of the leading by example. So I fortunately or unfortunately came from a chapter that was very small and had some issues in the past, and it just needed leadership. And so finally, you just reach a point where you get fed up and you just raise your hand and say, I'm going to lead this. And so I reached out to some support folks, male and female, at all different levels in the club, and started seeking guidance on how to get my chapter turned around, and had a group of guys in the area who were interested potentially in joining, and they showed up to a meeting, and I just kind of laid it out to them. I said, this is a club that's family oriented. It was found on family principles by Dreammaker. And if this is the club you want to come into and have your side piece, don't come here. This is a family club. If you want to ride then we'll ride, because I'm a rider. If you want to ride to eat, we'll ride to eat. We ain't been to the ride to eat yet, but we getting there. And so I just, told folks how I operated, what they could expect from me. And I think that I've kind of fulfilled that, because like it or not, from my perspective, I've been the president since 2016. So I keep trying to hand it off to one of the guys, but they ain't trying to hear it.
Hey, man. Hey, they love it. They absolutely love it. And that says a lot about you and your leadership style and traits, because to get men, and I'm not going to say it's not egotistical, whatever case may be, but to get men to follow you, no grumble, because they know you're doing it right. Is that just that trait that's in you, that was instilled in you? How do you manage I would say the structure of the organization, your chapter, to sit and say, well, we need to ride here, or we should go here? Like you say, you lead by example, but it still comes down to, boots on the ground.
Yeah. Well, it's, as a nation, we have standards. We have minimal riding requirements. We have attendance requirements, and, it's just a matter of putting our calendar together. And we don't just attend soldier events. So I want to incorporate, other events as well. So we have folks who want to go just ride to Buc-ee's. For us, it's going to be all the way to Virginia to go to a Buc-ee's. We have folks who want to go to Niagara Falls. And so we'll put that on our calendar. So by including everybody's desires for where they want to go, that just helps build the participation. So you got some people who want to ride more locally, and you got some people who want to get out there and take a longer trip. I have found over the years that, I was always able to, when I worked in corporate, I would kind of hold my vacation so I could get 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And that allowed me to do some of my further long distance riding, but not everybody's able to do that. So it wasn't until our last batch of probies came in that I found somebody who had the free time to venture off on adventures with me, because the nation did not like for me to be out there as a female, as a president, riding by myself.
Right.
Yeah. You ain't gonna tell me what to
do. and as a female to inspiration, going back, doing my research, looking at everything, putting the show together, the women that's in this picture right now, and I know Sarge is, I know Crowbar is in it, but Portia is in this picture. Popoff is in this picture. Some females that's out there riding, you are still an inspiration to them. I know Portia has her thing on the West Coast, with you come from the West Coast. You knew the West Coast style, the flavor, you know how things are on the West Coast. And Popoff by riding the Hoka Motorcycle Challenge and just riding the way that you do all over the country. Do you feel as though you are a female, an inspiration to females out there that's doing this motorcycle
riding? For those females, I want to spin that around, because those females have been an inspiration to me. Okay. Popoff, started hitting me. I started seeing her on Facebook with the camping and trips here, and she was stationed over in Europe, which now has planted the bug in me to go back over to Europe and do some riding there. So people like that. Snacks, I meant to put my snack socks on. I watch those women, and they, I just like, oh, I wish that so many women out there. Where's Piper? I mean, come on. I look at them and I'm like, ooh, I want to be like that when I grow up. So, but the lady that you see in that bottom picture with Sarge, she is the one that I feel I've had the most impact on. And that is Chocolate Chip. When I said that I was going to Alaska for my retirement trip, she said, I want to go. And I was like, because she had never been anywhere like that. She rides a Can-Am. She and her husband just started riding when the pandemic hit. I said, well, if you want to ride with me, there's a few things you need to understand. Number one, it's my trip. Number two, you got to be in shape. You got to be in shape to ride, and you're not in shape. So you're going to have to make some changes.
Oh.
Number three, your husband makes a lot of money, and I'm retiring. So, we're going to stay at some KOA campgrounds and some Super 8 motels. And we're going to be eating cheap. So, I had to let her know kind of how the trip was going. And let me tell you, Miss Chocolate Chip did everything she was supposed to do. We made that trip together, and there was a lot of tears and a lot of learning, but
we're gonna dive into that. We're gonna dive into that.
Yeah.
We're gonna dive into it.
So no, there are so many females out there that have inspired me that I have really had to kind of make changes within myself to be able to inspire people like Chocolate Chip, because when I say I'm going, I'm going. When I say I'm doing something, I'm going to do it. And so I don't wait on anybody else. I have told people, okay, well, I'm riding to the Grand Canyon on our way to our national meeting in Phoenix. Well, can I go? Nope, you can't go, because I got a timeline. It's my vacation. I'm not planning on making any changes to my itinerary for you, yada, 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 yada. So I've had to really kind of step back from that selfish mentality to be more giving and more inclusive.
Okay. Nice.
Right.
Hey, what's up, my brother Sharif? Thank you for joining us tonight, man. Love you. Most Wanted, thank you for joining us. Jake Cobb, thank you for joining us. Russell Brown, like that, thank you for joining us. Everybody, Alan, thank you for joining us. Corey, thank you for joining us. Bronze Guard, thank you for joining us. Princess McCall, thank you for joining us. Midnight, I know you had to go, but thank you for joining us. Everybody, I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight on the Rider with KSolo podcast show with the impeccable Doc Remy, with our special guest, no other than Gator, the one and only, a true inspiration to a lot of riders out there. So listen, Doc, we're just going to volley back and forth. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it, man. So I know you're in the Buffalo Soldiers Swed Club, and I've got a bunch of questions for you. But anyway, what does sisterhood and motorcycling mean to you? Even though you're in a co-ed club, do you highlight the sisterhood, or do you keep it at an even tone? We just brothers and sisters, or are you, because you are a female, saying, "Hey, it means a little bit more," or talk about that.
I think it's a mix. So one of the folks, Casey, she's with us today. Casey, I watch her, riding on her bike, and she's kind of moving up in the leadership. And so, I think she and I kind of complement each other and lift each other up and kind of, keep each other lifted. With some, I think it's, we're just kind of club sisters. I think it's a mix, really. And even with the associates, the ones who don't ride, who might ride with their husband, Cowboy's on here. His wife's an associate. And let me tell you, she rides harder than people who ride their own bikes. We'll say we're going somewhere, and before her husband can raise his hand, she's saying, "We going." Okay. So I think it's just part of the motorcycle culture, with sisters, that you learn how to kind of roll with wherever you are, whether you're with social club folks, whether you're with riders, whether you're with associates, women riding with their significant others. I just try to kind of get in there and roll however the flow might be going that day. So I don't put myself above anybody, as a female rider or as a president or anything. I just try to kind of get in where I fit in, wherever that might be.
Okay.
Okay.
You got to follow up, Doc, before I jump in.
I do.
Because I didn't know you did. Come on.
So when we talk about discipline,
I'm getting out of here.
Listen, your discipline and your strength, right? I just want to talk real quick about your health, your physical, your focus, and your discipline out there on the road. Do you think your military training helped you with that? And how do you balance and stay fit to be out here like you do?
So I discovered really quickly that if you are not in some kind of decent shape, you cannot ride long distance. So, even if it's just walking on a regular basis, you need that tone in your glutes to be able to sit in the seat that long. And, to hold up a road glide, or to just stay in the heat and all kinds of different weather, you've got to stay in shape. So I have not always been at this weight. I was a lot heavier. But as I increased the distances that I like to ride, I knew that I had to get in better shape. So I've taken all the necessary steps and dropped about 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I wasn't running with my girlfriend. She was running up at West Point in a triathlon, but I was running in my motorcycle clothes just to finish out the race with her, cheering her on at the finish line there. But I've always, I'm airborne. I'm a 5-jump chump, but running, if I got to get out there and run a few miles to stay in shape, then I'll do it, whether it's on a treadmill, on the road, do something. But you do need to, as I'm getting older, I'm doing a lot more walking and hiking to try to stay in shape. For a while, I was doing a bunch of push-ups, 22 for the 22 soldiers who are veterans who commit suicide. So I like to, keep awareness for that out there. But yeah, staying in shape is very critical to being able to go out there and ride long distances. But I do know my limitations. And so I say I'm a long distance rider. I'm not an endurance rider, because when I need to be asleep, I need to be asleep. So these people like Swole and the crew, they were talking about Alaska. And I said, Swole, can I go with y'all to Alaska? And he didn't say no. I told him, look, I can ride this many miles. I can do X, Y, Z. I got my insurance and I got my, hog ownership. And so I'm ready. Then he said, we're leaving out at midnight. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to leave 2 days ahead of time and I'll meet you there, because I can't do that midnight to 4 a.m. I cannot start a ride at that time. So know yourself, know your body, know your limits, and don't push it.
There you go. There you go right there, folks. That's a nugget. That is definitely a nugget. Know yourself, know your limits, and know yourself. I know done a lot of long distance riding. And I can't wait to get into you going up to Alaska. We're going to talk about that trip. So listen, folks, I want you to stay right where you're at. We're going to take a quick little 60-second break. Then we're going to come back and we're going to jump into her latest ride of riding not only to Alaska, but you rode around British Columbia, Canada, the Alpine, all of that, right?
Yep.
Stop at the Four Corner. Folks, stay where you at. We're going to be right back. Brotherhood KSolo podcast show. You know what time it is, man. Oh, my goodness. Where am I going, folks? Where the producer at? Doc.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. The producers done quit tonight. He done walked out on me. I don't even know what to do now. So listen, folks, stay where you at. I guess we're going to be right back. So
Hello.
I'm serious, man. I don't know what happened to the he quit. He just quit on us. I don't know, Doc. Hey, folks, it's KSolo of Riding with KSolo podcast. Hey, just want to let you know, tune in every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific, right here on Riding with KSolo, the podcast on YouTube and broadcasting on Facebook. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 Central, 5 Pacific, where we're going to be highlighting the unsung riders from across the nation, riding the highways and byways, the back roads, the adventures, the journeys, the tales, and the legacies. Make sure you tune in right here, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 Pacific, Riding with KSolo, the podcast.
Hey, everybody. No, I was sorry. I was talking about donate. So listen, KSolo, I'm doing the charity ride to the teenage boys in the group home, and I was giving them toiletry. Well, inside the toiletry bags is some razors, some shavers, and they can't have those in there because it's like a level 1 or security issues. And so I had to pick out all of the razors, but I want to take the razors and donate them to the community service here in Middle Tennessee to give to the homeless when they go out. And so you caught me saying that. Sorry.
It's all good, Doc, but you got to give it to him though, Doc. Where are we at, Doc?
Hey, and we are back.
Man, I'm telling you, this show, we're going to turn this into a comedy show, man. We're going to have fun with it, folks. Hey, listen, folks, that's what Doc and I do, man. We enjoy coming on the show. We just have fun with it. Once again, I want to thank Big Sarge, man. Big Sarge, we're going to go back and forth with this, Sarge. I was watching your show last night, Sarge. I was commenting. I know you had some technical difficulties, my brother, but the thing about it, old man, is the content was great. Your guest was great. The information that they were sharing was great, and that's what I'm gonna get ready to kind of ask you some of those questions that was on that show from Iron Elite podcast last night. So we know we've been on the road. Gator, let's talk about some of your maintenance plan. What did you talked about Boldest Right? You talked about Swole Guy. Let's talk about some of your maintenance plan. How do you stay mobile? How do you stay rolling?
I just take care of my bike. I'm not mechanically inclined. I did attend a junior maintenance officer course, so I know there's no such thing as a left-handed screwdriver, but I just take my bike in for regular servicing. And if something doesn't sound right, I take it back to the dealer. And that's it. I have, like I said, I have my hog ownership group, I have my insurance, so that if I've got to, make a call, to Allstate or whoever, I get my bike serviced when I'm on my rides. When I rode to Alaska, I got it serviced up there. When I got down to Mobile, Alabama, I got it serviced down there. So every 5,000 miles, my bike is getting looked at. And that's it. I don't carry tools with me because I don't know how to use them. I tell people, I told Sarge on his podcast, this credit card right here and this cell phone are my lifelines. If I get in trouble, I'm picking up the phone and I got to pay for it because I can't fix it. So I try to keep it running right in the first place.
Okay. I love that. I love that. There's a comment from D Wook 1319. Gator is the strongest, not just woman, but member of the chapter. The first time I met her, she was out pushing up grown men. Nothing but love for this woman. Now that says a lot right there. Thank you very much for that. D.
Thank you, Sensei.
Sensei, you know it, Sensei. And I'll be seeing those guys when I get up there for their event. Indeed. So we're gonna jump into it because we're on the downslope now. We're running out of bandwidth, Doc. No more 2-hour shows. No more 2-hour shows. Okay. We're running out of bandwidth. I can't afford it. But listen, people need to donate to the channel. But listen, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about your latest ride. So, did you put that ride together? I know you spoke about Boldest Rider catching those guys going up, but did you plan that ride yourself, or did you tell us? I love it. I want to hear about it. You planned it. How did you plan it? What inspired you to plan it, and the destinations you chose to go to?
So, for my retirement present to myself, I said I wanted to ride to Alaska. But I wanted to ride the Trans-Canada Highway. And that was before I realized that there's really not such a thing as the Trans-Canada Highway. There's a network of highways that go Trans-Canada.
Yes.
So I just pulled out a map and said, okay, well, I already had Key West. So I said, I want to get Madawaska, because the Swole guy and they got Madawaska, and I can't be outdone by Swole and his crew. So
I got a little rivalry going on there.
So I went up through Madawaska, then I crossed over into Canada and rode across to Edmonton. And then when I hit Edmonton, that's where I started going north and just took it straight up there till I hit the Alaska-Canada Highway. And I said, I know a lot of people ride to Hyder and kind of dip their foot over and say, I've been to Hyder, I've been to Alaska. I said, no, I want to go to Alaska. So I set my goal on Fairbanks, and that's where I went. And then on the way back, I said, well, since I'm over that way, I may as well get the other corner, which is Blaine, Washington. So I booked that into my trip too. Originally, I had also wanted to go through Banff, Jasper, and through Calgary because the Stampede was going on, but things didn't quite work out from a timing perspective there. But I was able to get Seattle and then came back across, and the person I was riding with had such an appreciation for the scenery and the wildlife that we had seen that we kind of changed the plan there because I was going to get that northernmost marker up in Minnesota, I think it is. And I decided not to do that. Instead, we did Glacier National, Yellowstone, Black Hills, Badlands, Devil's Tower, and all that stuff.
Oh, nice.
I just kind of envision in my head where I want to go. I don't book a bunch of hotel rooms because you never know what the ride's going to do. I do take a look to see if there's anything big going on in an area where I might have problems getting a room. And then I just kind of go from there.
Okay. With that Canada ride, being up there, and I know there's no dealerships up there, that long stretch of highway. It's just nothing really. Nothing. How did that psychologically play on you, being out there, just the two of you? And to say this right here, Chocolate Chip was a prospect at the time.
Yeah.
So she was literally on your coattail, like, I don't know what to do if something go wrong. So it was all on you and the two of you, correct?
Yep.
Oh, talk to us. Talk to us,
baby. So we, we both made sure we had an international plan on our phones. We didn't get a satellite phone, even though the guy in Edmonton said we should. I was like, I'm trusting God. I pray every day. So I said, I'm trusting God. There were stretches of just, like you said, just nothing. It's just wilderness up there. But, God would put a bear or a porcupine or a moose or an elk or a caribou or something in the road just to give you that adrenaline pump, because we were riding 600 to 800 miles every day to get up there. And so God would put something in front of us, whether it was an animal or some, the Canadian Rockies, some beautiful scenery that would just give us that adrenaline we needed to go the extra 100 miles. So it was just great. And we had our extra gas. Gas stations are few and far between. And where your Harley GPS might say there's a gas station, there might not be one. I'm sorry, I'm having hot flashes. So I got
wow.
So
she fanning. I got my question card. I'm fanning.
We had 12 inches of snow 2 weeks ago. I couldn't even open my deck door, and that's 70 degrees today. So a few weather changes. We had bear spray, and we had air horns, and we had a prayer.
Yeah.
And that's how we got through. When we were down near, I can't remember the name of the place, but we hadn't left too far out of Montreal. We had to pull over and put some gas in her Can-Am. And when we were pulled over, topping off her tank, 3 Canadian men in 3 different pickups pulled over and asked us if we were okay. After that, I didn't worry because I knew that the people up there would take care of you.
That's right.
They don't believe in leaving people on the side of the road. And 3 different trucks stopped to ask us if we were okay. And it just continued throughout our ride. One time I was in a pothole and dropped my bike. Man, jumped right out of his truck. Y'all need some help? Picked it up and kept going. That
talk to us.
That's Spider. That's Spider. She's gonna hate me. She's listening. She's gonna hate me because she's listening.
Chocolate Chip, we love you.
Got the nickname Can't Damn because it would just give us. We got to Port Nelson and the thing just stopped. We pulled out our hotel and it just stopped at a stop sign. Just stopped. Couldn't get it started. Called somebody. It was Sunday. He came. He troubleshot that bike for 4 hours. Couldn't get started. So we sitting on the curb. He said, "You got to tow all the way back 600 miles. It's going to take 2 days for them to tow you back because it can only go so many miles in a day.
Oh,
so you $2,000 for the tow because no plan covers 600 miles." Man pulls up. We told him our tale of woe. He said, "Well, did you talk to Wes?" Who's West?
Who's West?
Right.
There's a
Who's West?
Can-Am dealer right here behind the hotel.
What?
There was a
Oh,
Can-Am dealership right behind the hotel. Now, they did not have spiders. They
right.
did, the side-by-sides and the snowmobiles and all that stuff.
Okay.
He took around there. West says, lady needs some help. West got in his truck, came around. West had that thing started in 3 minutes.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
West told her, ride around here around the corner. Y'all go get some lunch and I'll take a look at it. Now, he wasn't licensed. He hadn't ever serviced them, but he hooked it up to his laptop. He did some diagnostic on it, topped off all the fluids, checked the tires, boop, 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 boop. And he took about 100 Canadian dollars for that. Oh. Now, their town, the month prior, had been shut down for an entire month, evacuated. So these people are hard up for money. Mm-hmm. And he refused to let her pay a fair sum to look at her bike. But that's how the people were in Canada.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. When Reef and I went up the first time, Reef had some bike problems, and we found crazy eye, some shiny eyeball mechanic. Reef, type it in the thing, Reef. I know you're still looking, but no. But the guy was so helpful. Man. He worked and tinkered on that thing and got us running. And I mean, the repairs that he did got us all the way up to Alaska. It brought us all the way back down, and we didn't have no problem. So, folks, if you get out there, you have the right mentality, the right attitude about things, and don't be afraid to open your mouth and ask questions. Don't think that we have that negative American or about us, man. People will help you especially being bikers, man. I mean, really and truly, indeed. But that's great. That's great sharing that.
Yeah, I have club members who, when I tell them, I'm going to South Dakota, I'm going here, who's like, ooh, there's a lot of people out there. Like, how are they going to feel about us? I have never had a problem anywhere I've gone. You'll find somebody who might want to test the waters, but if you're cordial back to them, I have never, ever had a problem. And I've always said, I serve my country. I'm not going to let somebody tell me where in my country I can go.
There you go. There you go. There you go. When I was sitting over there in the foxhole, and Doc used to say that to using the foxhole. When I got back over here, I said, I want to go see everything that I want to see sitting over there in that foxhole, because I didn't know how I was going to make it back home. And then when I got back and I started riding, I wanted to go to some of these crazy places, some of these places people ain't never heard of, people in clubs that don't get to see because they ride from point A to point B. And I tell people, go up to Fort Kent, go to Madawaska, go up to British Columbia, go to these places, man, even down here in the States, Devil's Tower, go take a look at it. We remember that growing up and seeing the movie, dun, dun, dun. You know what I'm saying? Was it a prop? You know what I'm saying? But get out there and go see things, man. Doc, I'm just running my mouth, Doc, eating up bandwidth. Hit her up, Doc, hit her up.
Okay, let's go on to community and purpose, Gator. Many riders support charities or community causes. Are there causes that you ride for?
Oh boy, I'll ride for any good cause. Let's see, we've done our events where we've supported sickle cell. Right, I've done some charity rides, but I think I feel better when I'm doing charity work. We've done Habitat for Humanity. We've worked at food banks. We've escorted remains, whether they were, family members or veterans, where we've escorted their families. We don't do that anymore without national permission due to some, situations. But I prefer, rather than just riding, I prefer actually serving and doing the service. We do a lot of charitable giving. I do a lot of charitable giving as well. But I like to get my guys out there serving and kind of more one-on-one with charities.
And the Buffalo Soldier is probably a great organization to be a part of for those type of events, because you guys still deal with military, you still deal with other military organizations out there. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So we do a lot of riding, a lot of fundraising. You'll see us at the proc where we always got to one up. Whoever's giving, we got to give a little bit more or match or whatever the case is. But for myself, I prefer for me and for my club members to actually go out and do the service. The riding is great. Where you're giving some money to a charity. But the service to me feels better.
Nice. Hey, folks, we're on the downslope right now. We're going to wrap this thing up. Make sure we got about 30 people that's entered. You still have time. If you have not entered the free giveaway tonight, all you need to do is type in #Gator in your comment. Type in #Gator in your comment. We're going to be generous. We're going to give away a free t-shirt like what Gator's wearing right there for the Motorcycle Podcast. And we're going to throw in a free promo pack where you get a key ring. You're going to get a wristband. You're going to get a lanyard. You're going to get stickers. We're going to give you all that stuff, man, to show our appreciation for you being a part of Riding with KSolo Podcast show.
And Remy's book.
Don't forget my book.
Look. I got jumped on, man.
Yeah, you did. Come on, Gator.
I got jumped on.
Come on, Gator.
Gator, we snap that on me. I know, right, man? I know. I love it, folks. That's what we do. What we do on this show. You also partake in the stick as well, correct?
I'm gonna deny that for insurance reasons. But since this picture was taken before I told them that I stopped, yes. So I was a member of the Loyal Order of Water Buffalo Cigar Smokers Club, and in that actually we would donate cigars to send over to soldiers who were deployed, and we wore those buffalo hats.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I wanted to kind of get a little bit more information about it because I'd heard of it. But is that part of the West Point, or is that part of Buffalo? Is that part of something that y'all just created and started doing?
No, it's actually like a Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. I can't remember which of my friends kind of turned me on to it, but I joined it, and we gave cigars, and and you had to wear the hat, so we would take our pictures in there. That was up near Niagara Falls. They lived up in the Finger Lakes, and it was a 4th of July where we were hanging out for the weekend with some classmates. So
nice, man. I love your legacy, Gator. But before we get ready to go out, Gator, I have to jump back to the Alaska trip. I want to talk about it a little bit more. I know we talked about the headaches, but you went up to Fairbanks, correct?
Correct.
Now, like you say, people will dip their toes in to Hyder. I don't take nothing away from nobody. Everybody rides their rides, but going up route the Alaska Highway, it's nothing out there. It's another one of those desolate stretches of road where there's no service station. The service stations are far and few. You got 18-wheelers out there running hard because they're going up to the Dalton Highway and stuff like that. Just you two out there being blown around. Again, that psychological effect. How did it play on you? And then you sit there saying, well, am I sure I made the right decision want to do this? Talk to us, because there are people that's going to plan that are planning to go up there this year based off of seeing other riders like myself, Reef. I know my guy from Red Breed went up there. A lot of people, GQ been up there. So a lot of people have seen people go up there. What was that emotional effect to you when you crossed over and you stood beside that Alaska sign?
So it wasn't so much the desolation that got to me psychologically. It was the road condition. So, I followed you guys. Well, not you, because you didn't ride that last year, but I followed the Hoka Hay pretty closely this year. And it was validating to me to hear Pop Off and some of your other riders talk about how traumatic it was to ride that during Alaska Canada Highway. I mean, there were stretches where it wasn't paved. You know, they would just rip up the road and put a sign up that says motorcycles be careful. You're riding through gravel. At one point, we rode through a part where they had put the dirt down and then wet the dirt. And there was a grader coming down the middle of the highway. There were 18-wheelers coming this way, and I'm on my two-wheelers. I got chocolate chip behind me on her Can-Am, and I'm just spinning, like riding in 4-inch thick mud, praying that I don't go down in this mud. And so we hit, what's that last town right before you cross over into Alaska? Beaver or something or another? Whatever the name of it was. I said, we got to pull over. I had to stop. And we had to stop and have lunch. And I said, I got to get my head straight because that stretch of road was just traumatic for me. And then I thought it would get better when we crossed over into Alaska, because I said, the American people can't expect people, you know, it's not safe to ride on rides like that. And it just continued over on the Alaska side. So that's what really got me, you know. And so when, like I said, when I was listening to the Hoka Hey people that you guys would have on podcasts and stuff after that, and they would share how, you know, it affected them and the graded bridges and all that kind of stuff, I was like, okay, it wasn't just me, you know, I'm not like this rookie rider where I just couldn't handle it, you know. They kind of validated my feelings about how harrowing that experience was. So, that's all I can say. Be ready. If you're on a two-wheeler, be ready for every kind of road condition. And even where it was paved, where they had those heaves, you know, you just are riding along and boom, you just hit something and it feels like you just hit a curb. It's just, it might be this high where there's a curb and an imperfection in the road. And I tore up a rim.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so you did have some major issues up there, tearing up a rim. Because the thing is, and up there, and that's what I found out when we were riding up there, is that because of the permafrost under there, it's never thawed. So they go in, and the way they repair road is they tear the tar up, they leave the gravel down, and they just come and put tar back on top of it. So it's the permafrost, folks. That's why they do their construction the way that they do it up there. But up in Fairbanks, of course, you know, that's the Great Northwest, the last frontier up there. I think there's a dealership still up there. I know a lot of them are closing like crazy. And you know, what did you partake when you was up in Fairbanks? Did you?
I just kind of vegetated. I had to get my bike serviced. So I did that. We were trying to find a place where Chocolate Chip could get her bike serviced, but everybody at the shop got COVID, so she wasn't able to get her bike serviced. There were a lot of forest fires at the time.
Yes.
I mean, you went out and you had to cover your face because it was that smoky. It was thick smoke. So we weren't able to venture out and, you know, hit Denali Park or anything like that around Fairbanks. So, and I thought I'd be able to get me a cheap crab dinner. You know, I like to watch Deadliest Catch. And I looked at the price of crab and I said, well, not today. Not on this budget.
Man,
home and get some frozen crab because I couldn't afford it.
You can get you some cheap reindeer up there. I know I end up eating some reindeer sausage or something like that.
I did all of that. I did yak. I had all kinds of different meats, and Chocolate Chip was a vegetarian, so she didn't eat any of those meats. She might occasionally have salmon, but you know, and only if it's fresh caught. So that's a big joke with us. But I did try a lot of those different meats.
Yeah, Doc, we need to get a vegetarian on and talk about their different rides. You know, we had Storm on. Storm is vegetarian. Yeah. So yeah. So the thing is it's different when you and they were talking about that last night. We said when you go riding with somebody, you need to know those things. You know, their medication, their health, their physical, and then dieting. You know, that's real tough, man. That's
and that reminded me one other thing. One other experience I had. I take a medication that's refrigerated, so I wasn't able to take it with me, and so I had to make arrangements for my daughter to send it to Kalispell, which is outside of Glacier National. And there was a big mix up there. I eventually got it, but that's another thing. When you're planning these really long road trips, you got to make provisions for making sure you're able to, refill your prescriptions if you run out, or, be able to carry your insulin or whatever else you might need. Make sure you don't forget about that as well.
Yep. They make these little cooling containers now that you can carry with you, battery pack that you can plug in at night. But, so that's another thing. Big John Levins, he's a board member of the Hoka Hay, said, "You're a prime candidate." Thank you, Big John. Oh.
Listen, John, I am such a fan. I watched religiously while KSolo was covering. I'm watching people. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm watching the coverage of Hoka Hay." I'm like, "Oh, I wish I could do this." I'm telling you, it's like, ooh, but I don't know if I could, because when I go hard. And I would push myself like you pushed yourself that time when you were at the top. I would push myself. And so I have to kind of dial it back. Also, I got the ADHD, and so even when I've done like my iron butts, when I did I-10 end to end, I also did one of our soldier things, which was a coast to coast patch. I'm not like Piper. All the receipts, I literally just sent in my coast to coast patch paperwork because I just needed to do like 2 things and I didn't do them. And it just kept looking at me and looking at me and looking at me. Woo, y'all got standards.
That's it. Can you read that question from Bolo?
Yeah, Bolo. What time of year? Go ahead.
I left 2 days after the day after Father's Day, I left. So June. And it probably took us about a week to get up there, I'd say. And then we stayed up in Fairbanks for 3 days. And then we came back down. Like I said, we came back down. When we hit Jasper, we kind of headed west. We went to Seattle, got that corner, and then we came across, did all the national parks. And then we had our national meeting down in Mobile, Alabama. So we rode straight down to Mobile and then stayed there for a week and then went home. So I was gone for 5 weeks. And every time my husband tells a story, I was gone for longer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
5 weeks. So she was gone for 3 months. She was gone for 5 months. She left me home.
Left me home. That's awesome. That's awesome. You ever consider going up to the Dalton, up to the Arctic Circle?
No.
So
no. Look at that bike. See that bike? See, even if I ever go back to Alaska again, I would have to have an adventure bike. I would not take my road glide back up there. That road was hard.
Yeah.
And I watched guys pass me on adventure bikes standing on their pegs. And then, you know how they have those little stops where they're doing road maintenance. So you catch back up to him. And so I pulled up next to this guy who had gone past us on on his pegs, and man, you didn't have to make it look so easy. I'm back. Like, you just made it look easy. So I'd have to do that. I have to do a whole, snacks. I'd have to go out and take the whole training course on riding through the dirt and stuff like that. So, before I do that again.
Okay. Doc, we winding down, Doc. Anything left in the tank?
Yeah, I do. Personal reflection moment. What moment on a motorcycle has stayed with you the most, Gator? What moment?
Okay.
It could be early on in your journey, in your career of riding, or...
I don't, I've never been able to call a moment. I don't have a favorite color. I don't know that I have a favorite moment. To me, I've got so many moments, seeing the Canadian Rockies, seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time, just some of the scenery you see when you're coming over into, I think it's into South Dakota, where you cross the river there, where the big statue is, with the Native American.
Yeah.
Just that view of the whole basin. There've been so many views where you just see God's creation. I rode the first time I think I did cross country was with my husband's cousin, who's also a soldier, Shaka, and another guy, Casper. And we would pull over at like every scenic overlook. And finally, we were like, we can't pull over at every scenic overlook. We're never going to get where we're going. Because it's just amazing. There's so much America to see. We spend so much time going outside the states. There's so much America to see. And so I want to do more backroads riding, like
Yes.
what KSolo does and Reef do, and get some of these little nuggets of things that they see. I have to be careful because my husband likes me to stay on the interstate where I can be found if I crash. But I would like to do more of that, to just see more creation and more beauty. And so I don't have a moment.
Right. And with that, on the back roads, you got a lot of historic places to go to, a little offbeat places to go to. I encourage people that if you're looking for little hole in the wall places, do the RTE Cross USA. It'll take you to places like the Blue Front Cafe, where I met a couple of blues singers down there. It's great. Being on the back roads is great. I love it, because when you're on the interstate, yes, it's fast, but you miss everything.
Yeah.
Hit those back roads. Hit those, see those monuments. Go to places, man. It is awesome, incredible. I'm out of bandwidth. If anybody got any questions, I think I do have a question. We got a question right here. Moose said, "You got it. You got it."
Was Alaska the first leg of the trip? If so, how long did it take to reach the States?
So I think, like I said, I think it took us about 7 days, but we went again from New Jersey up through Maine, straight across, and then straight north. I could have gone like up diagonal through Minnesota, Montana, and gone up that way, but I'm extra, so I had to take the long way. So I would say you probably could do it in, I don't know, 5 days if you're riding hard.
Yeah. And once again, I say this: you did it with a prospect. And that's awesome. Once again, that says a lot about your leadership right there, because it takes patience. Somebody who don't know a green thumb, and then being a seasoned rider, sometimes you be like, well, you should know that. Then you have to catch yourself like, you don't know
that. No, I even had to tell her at one point. She was like, oh, my boots are all wet from the rain. I said, that's because you have your pants tucked into your boots, So it's little things that you take for granted because you've been riding for a while, that, you have to have the patience and train. I remember right before this trip, I think it was GQ got online and was talking about how, when you see people like Reef and KSolo and Snacks, and you see these people doing these endurance rides, everybody can't do that. And I kind of said, well, you know what? Everybody could do that, but they have to have somebody to inspire them to do that. And so I wanted to inspire her to say, you can do it. And she did it. And then she did I-10 end to end with me as well. So she's coming along. She's coming along.
Yeah, that's good. And we're going to drop that down there. Once again, shout out to Big Sarge for that I-10 to the end ride right there, man. There they go right there. Because you guys dropped back down through Washington, Oregon. Did y'all go down and then went down to San Ysidro, correct?
No. That was a different trip. So,
okay.
So yeah, that wasn't the Alaska trip. So she and I did I-10 end to end this year. Alaska was 24. So we rode straight down from Jersey down to Jacksonville, spent the night there and hit it and did I-10, and then stayed at my sister's house for a couple of days. And she had chocolate chip had a rough time in the desert. And leader would. I told her I was not taking her back through the desert.
Right. Yeah.
So she ended up shipping her bike back home. And but we did ride down to San Ysidro to get that corner first. Then she went back up to my sister's, and I went down back to my dad's because I had to take him on his birthday cruise.
Okay. We're gonna get ready to wrap this thing up. I know we got a couple of questions coming in. Folks, I love it. I love it. Thank you for dropping those questions in there.
I got one more. Hey, Gator, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What message do you want people to remember about veterans, women riders, and living life with courage?
Just that, to live life with courage. Whether veteran, women rider, don't let people tell you what you can't do. If there's something you want to do, do it. Don't wait on other people. Just do it. if I waited on people, I would not have gone to any of the places I've been before. And I won't wait on people to do the stuff that I still want to do. So do it. Veterans, find an outlet, whatever that is. Riding motorcycles is great, but don't push your limits. We can be on the reckless side as veterans. Most of us are ADHD or undiagnosed ADHD. So just know your limits and make sure that you're safe when you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how you wrap that up. I got some stuff back here in the background. Some people sending me some stuff that was trying to remind me about Chantel. So I want to make sure that I touch on her before I get off. So you have to excuse me. They just sent me that right there. And so before we get ready to get up out of here, I just have one more question that I just want to just do my final question as well. Yeah. And we talked about discovery. Let me get this right now. I got that already. Option. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and end it on this note right here. Final words to not just female riders, but to riders out there that's looking to get out and explore the country. What would you give them?
Think about where you've never been, where you never imagined that you'd ever be able to go. And go.
Okay. And go.
My mother grew up during the civil rights era. My mother would not camp. She said she had to mandatory camp when they would go on road trips. I was a female, so I didn't really do the whole Girl Scouty thing, but my brothers, my dad took them camping. When I went camping, I went with my white neighbors. And when I grew up, even after in the military, I said, I want to go camping. And so I'd get on my motorcycle. My husband would not let me go by myself camping, but Shaka, his cousin, said he would camp and I would go camp with my husband. Find an outlet, go and do it.
Okay. I love that. And Chris said, ride at least one place new this year. Indeed. That's one of your soldier sisters right there.
Yes, and she's a female president as well.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Rocket. We got to give it up, Doc. We got to give it up. Producer, can we get one up there in the booth? Can we get one in the booth? We're going to have to get some stars and some other sound effect, Doc, going on. Well, listen, Gator, we enjoyed having you on tonight. Thank you for sharing all that with us. One of my greatest part was when you was just talking about your experiences, your mental state when you were going up hitting some of these roads, because it does plays with your mentality. It does play with your psyche when you're out there. You have to be strong. You talked about your physical side, being such an inspiration. Then you highlighted the women that inspired you. You see what I'm saying? And I love that. So shout out to all the women that inspired you, that you name. Doc, you are an inspiration too. And if we may have just missed it, it was Women's Day, National Women's Day that I just
month. Yeah. Women's Month. We need a whole month.
The whole month.
You're a lot. We need a lot.
Yep. You need a lot, and you get it. And you get, like I say, you are a trailblazer, a pioneer. You doing the damn thing. And I love it. And I absolutely love it. And I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. So I hope we did you right. Shout out to your dad out there. Shout out to all the people that's tuning in, the family. I hope we did it right by highlighting her and giving her a chance to just share all of that great wisdom and knowledge with us on the channel tonight.
And thank you for being an inspiration, KSolo. You have inspired me.
Thank you very much. Yes. So on that note right there, man, producer, work your magic. Producer, work your magic. All right. So listen, we're going to just go ahead and let you get out of here. Doc and I are going to close the show out. Just under, we're going to try to make at least an hour 30, Doc. At least an hour 30.
Okay.
We're already with 30 minutes over. So I'm in my pocket, man. Somebody donate some money to the podcast, man. All right. Take care. We see you, Gator. We'll see you on the road.
Good night. All right.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Oh my goodness, Doc. I'm trying to get it like 60 minutes. Wait. Oh, there we go. We got it.
Hey, yeah.
We got it out the park, man.
That was great. Yes.
That was a
Great
great
guess.
guess. Great guess, man. I love. And then she went up to Fairbanks, Alaska, with a prospect. Now I have to admire that.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
admire
Yeah.
that, man. You
Yeah.
have to
That's some
admire that.
patience. That's some
That's some patience.
patience for you.
Yeah, some serious patience. We did have a question come in from Moose. Moose, was Alaska the first leg of the trip? If so, how long did it take to reach the state? So we didn't get that in on with her.
No,
Well,
we did.
we did.
That's
We
the
did.
one I asked her. Mhm.
Okay. I want to make sure because I kind of like want to stop some of the questions and bring them back. So we did get you, Moose. We did get you. Awesome show. Thank you
Yep.
very much, everybody. Listen, before we get ready to get up out of here, we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to go ahead and do do you want to talk about Sankofa first? The gala? Doc?
Yes, let's do it. Let's talk
Let's
about
talk
the
about the
gala
gala.
real quick.
Yeah, let's
We on
talk
the
about the gala real quick.
countdown. I got somebody handing me one of my books. I'll show a picture of the book too that I'm gonna give away. But
Okay.
yes, hey guys, Nashville, Tennessee this is the week. I have been planning this thing for a year now, and it's here. So Thursday, come on out, welcome party, meet and greet. Friday is a dress up gala. We are talking about banned books, and we're gonna take some banned books over to a group home that has 18 teenage boys. We are fundraising for the Sankofa Achievement Center, which serves underserved youth. We bring in mentorship, academics, and taking them out to let them see geography of the world and the country, especially the state here in Tennessee. But guys, this week the charity ride is Saturday. Please pull up on me. We'll be leaving the Holiday Inn Express, Opryland here in Nashville. We're gonna have a bike blessing. Then we're gonna do the ride. We're gonna do service. Now, Gayla said she likes to ride, but she likes to put in service. And what I like about my charity ride is that we're just not jumping on our hogs and on our sports bikes and riding. We are actually doing some service. We're doing some work before we get on the bike. We're putting some books together. We're putting packages together. We're doing service the night before. Then we ride and we do service when we get to the group home. We pass out stuff. We talk to the boys. Then we go and celebrate. And so this year we'll be celebrating at Cycle Gear. They've been generous enough to donate the location. And so again, guys, I just want you to come on out, fellowship, charity, educational awareness, and some good food. And also the GoFundMe ends. The GoFundMe ends on Thursday, I do believe. And I want to thank everybody who has donated to the GoFundMe. Please share the last couple days that we have. Please donate your last couple of cents. You have it. And that's all I have, KSolo.
All right, Doc. All right. That's awesome. Once again, folks, we're doing a GoFundMe. There is the GoFundMe. We're just over, we're about to hit $3,500. Every penny, every cent goes toward helping 5 youth tuition for a year, helping Doc Remy's center out. Please donate. I greatly appreciate it. If I've inspired you, if I've given you places to go, if I motivated you, if you enjoy watching me riding across the country on the back roads, the Hoka Motorcycle Challenge, all of that. Say, Solo, here how I want to thank you. Donate to this GoFundMe for the Sankofa Achievement Center. I would greatly appreciate it, man. And it definitely motivate and inspire me to keep doing what I'm doing. And I ask that you keep Mom Dukes in your prayers. Every day is a blessing. I know I haven't been talking about her much lately, but every day is a blessing when I speak to Mom Duke. So please just keep her in your prayers. And also, and what we're going to start doing is, Doc, and we haven't talked about it, but we're going to start highlighting a rider. We're going to highlight a rider that we see out there riding across the country or doing something positive. We're going to highlight them at the opening of the show. At the opening of the show. So if you're out there getting down, if you're putting it in, if you're being positive in the community, we're going to start highlighting you, and we're just going to give you a shout out to all our social media influencers up there. We're going to be putting something together for you guys to come on the show because we want to find out what our impact is on the culture. Positive, negative. What is the future? Where are we going with this social media thing and social media influencers? Because believe it or not only are companies and industries are recognizing, hey, if you got 200,000 followers or subscribers, then you are making an impact. And we want to bring you on, just show that across our platform to make an impact. But before we go, we have to bring on. We're going to talk about our sister right here. Give me a second, because I got a lot going on. The producer, man, he's struggling, Doc. But we're going to bring on. Listen,
yes,
our sister. Yes. You want to talk about this, Doc?
Yes. Our sister Chantel, she just won the slow road challenge. We was just down in Ireland having a good doggone time, and she went to Daytona, and from what I hear, a drunk driver, hit her. She got broke legs, shattered pelvis, collarbone is broke, and there is a GoFundMe going on. And Chantel was doing, they said she was doing everything right. And this is a rider's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And she's had a plethora of people went to the hospital to visit with her. I love to see that the sisters are pulling up on her at this hospital to give her some encouragement, some hugs. And so, guys, there's a GoFundMe for her.
There's a GoFundMe. I hope y'all can see it.
If you can't donate to the GoFundMe, they want you to share it. Someone else in the motorcycle community might be able to support the GoFundMe if you can't. So share that. Also, another way to support our sister is going to visit her restaurant, and so her family is saying, that's her business. And so she's not going to be able to walk for the next almost up to maybe 6 months. So that they need help, guys. So please support Chantel in her recovery, in her healing.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I just shared it to my page, folks. So you can go over and take a look at it on my page. We'll greatly appreciate it. Like I say, man, this is what we're all about on this channel. This is what we're all about. Positive. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us tonight. We love you. We greatly appreciate you being a part of Riding with KSolo podcast. We're looking for great things, and we're looking for more people to bring on the channel and highlight your journey, your amazing legacies. Not only the unsung, but even some of our new up and coming. Like our very first episode was an up and coming with Young Gunner. So, man, we're doing great things. We're going to keep doing great things here on the channel, folks. We want you to stay with us, and any way that we can change to be positive, we greatly appreciate it. So, listen, Doc, we're out of bandwidth. We are 3 minutes over our max time.
Okay, let's do the giveaway.
Okay, so we got to do the giveaway. Hold on, folks. Let me get rid of this right here because, like I said,
that I'm giving away, Soldier from Birth.
Right. Before we go, man, there's a lot going on. Okay, so listen, for the next 30 seconds, type #Gator in the comment. Go. All right, here we go, Doc. Here we go. I'm going to hit this button right quick, and we're going to get in. We got 40 people in. For the giveaway today. You ready, Doc?
Let's go.
Good luck. Who is it going to be tonight? Better not be the Bells. Oh, MacGyver, you got it, man. MacGyver got it, man. Congratulations, MacGyver, man. You get a free thermal pack. And
nice.
You're going to get a free t-shirt, man. So make sure you hit me up, MacGyver, on the inbox so that I can get your shirt size so that we can get it in the mail to you with your address, man. I greatly appreciate it. Yeah. MacGyver always ordering stuff, supporting me here on the channel, man. I greatly appreciate it. So once again, thank everybody for joining us tonight with Riding with KSolo, the podcast show. We love you. And remember my motto, aspire to inspire. And if you do that, you'll definitely be legendary. All right, folks, we're out here. Y'all have a good night.
What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Most Wanted, in the building. You already know the vibes. Inspired by KSolo the Rider. If you haven't tapped into the podcast yet, you're missing out. Go check it out, catch a vibe, and get inspired. If If you're already tuned in, keep that energy flowing and that podcast on lock. It's your girl Most Wanted. I'm out.
It's your girl A Boogie. Big shout out to KSolo the writer, holding it down with the writing with KSolo podcast. If you love the open rules, good vibes, and real writer talk that hits home, this is where it's at. Keep it locked in, keep it rolling, and remember, like KSolo always says, be legendary.